Hello, welcome back to my Croft Kitchen series. For episode 5, I'm going to bring you some comfort food, and that is in the form of using local Ness traditional produce. Keep watching to find out more. So the main ingredient in today's dish is the Guga, or Gannet. And I've got one here from this year's stock. I'm keeping the dish very simple today. I'm not branching too far away from the original, but we're going to add more of a luxurious touch to it. And this is where, when I was talking about comfort food earlier on, 3 basic ingredients: our gannet, our rooster potatoes, and Crossdoor's black pudding. So first of all, our Guga here. It's a lovely smell to it here. Okay. Now I'll turn it over as well so we can get it from all angles. So what we have is, we've got 4 quarters here. I'll cut this later on. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Get a good close up of that, Kirsty. Okay, so I'm going to start by soaking it and giving it a good wash. So what I'm doing here, I'm giving it a good scrub all over, and just in lukewarm water. What I've got is a clean sponge, and we're going into every crevice, giving it a good scrub. They have been salted out on the island, so we just want to get it as presentable as possible for the table. You could use a scrubbing brush as well, but I find these are good. You can just dispose of them afterwards. And anything else that really comes in contact with the Guga. You can see how much scum is coming off the bird. You can see already it's coming up lovely. And clean. I'm sure you're looking at it going, oh my goodness, what is this? But for many years it is a way of life in this, and I think now it's more tradition than anything else, but it's still very popular. So there we have it. What I'll do is I'll drain the water and give it one more final rinse out before we cut it ready for the pan. So here is the Guga already prepared. It's lovely and clean now. We're just going to portion it ready for the pan. You can see here we've got our 4 quarters. That's where I'm going to cut. There's plenty of meat on here. Now the traditional way of eating it would be with the skin. Some people boil it with the claws on, but I'm not going to use this today. The main part I want is the meat itself. So we'll start off by removing the claws. In half. A nice sharp knife. So if you are consuming all of it, you can see there, it's quite a good portion, really. So to the pan. This part will be a bit trickier, bit of a bone here, but a couple of swipes and we're through. And we have it. That is our 4 quarters. Now, after that, what we're going to do is we're just going to cover with cold water and boil for half an hour. Drain, cover again with water, and another half hour after that. So here's the Guga submerged in the water now. I'm going to take that up to temperature for half an hour. I feel like throwing maybe a bay leaf, some peppercorns and a carrot and onion in there, but I think there may be some uproar. Another wee method for the recipe would be to throw a stone into the bottom of the pan, and when the stone is ready, then that's when you can tell the Guga is ready. But not today. Keep it simple and we'll just get the lid on. So for the potatoes, traditionally boiled potatoes would be served, but I want to offer more luxurious potatoes today. And in that form, it's going to be what I like to call a pomme puree. Not mashed potato, a pomme puree, where it's more luxurious and richer than mashed potato. So the potatoes I'm using today are rooster potatoes. You want a red skin potato. Avoid brown skin potatoes for this. You want a nice waxy potato. Don't get me wrong, if you've only got brown potatoes in, just use them. But a nice waxy potato is best. So we'll start peeling them. Now, another different method I'm using today, rather than boiling the potatoes. I think for this dish, the word boil I think is too harsh. We're going to steam the potatoes today in this little domestic steamer. Obviously we'll season them first, just a sprinkling of salt, and we'll steam them till tender. So while the Guga is cooking, we're going to get on with our potatoes. I've got the steamer all fired up. So being very careful, even though this is a domestic little steamer, it can give you scalding burn. So just want to be very careful adding our potatoes. We don't want to overload the steamer. It will just take longer. And the potatoes have been cut into all uniform pieces to cook evenly, and to that just a light sprinkling of salt. Lid on, about 20 minutes, and we'll just see how they go. So this is it after half an hour. I'm just going to drain this. Now, the aroma in this kitchen is something to behold. Yes, the windows are open. Yes, the door is open. It is either that or cooking it outside. So now I'm going to cover it again with water and cook for a further half hour. So while the Guga is now coming to the last few minutes, I'm just going to test the potatoes, and for this I'm going to use a fork. The reason I'm using a fork is it'll give me a better indication rather than using a sharp knife, as well, a sharp knife will go through anything, to be honest. Yeah, about 2 or 3 minutes on that, and while they are coming down to the final few minutes, I'll now prepare the black pudding. So for the black pudding, I'm using Croft Kitchen black pudding for this. The reason for this is ideal for this recipe. It's going to lend that soft texture to the finished dish. Whereas usually if I'm going to grill it or fry it, I want a nice crisp texture on the outside. But seeing this is for a softer consistency, this is ideal. So I'm just going to use 2 per portion. Just remove the casing. And we'll bake this in a hot oven, but every 2 or 3 minutes I'm just going to give it a wee mash up with a spoon, so I want that smooth texture to the finished dish. So now the potatoes are cooked, we're going to make our pomme puree. For that, nice and basic, lots of butter, which is at room temperature, and hot milk. So we're going to first of all get our potatoes into the processor. Bear in mind they are still piping hot. They've been left to dry for a few minutes. Coming out of the steamer, you can see that little fluffy outer edge. I'll stop that so I can just speak. I'm going to add our butter, and what I'm aiming for is a nice emulsion. So I'm just wanting to get the consistency right. So butter first of all. Followed by a splash of milk. Almost there. Lovely. Now what I mean by emulsion is, you can see it, it's almost like saucy consistency. Think of mayonnaise like an emulsion. Now after that, I'm going to pass it through a sieve to get even lighter. So now we're just going to pass it through our sieve. What I've got here is like almost like a double boiler. What I mean by that is I've got one big bowl with boiling water in it and a smaller bowl going to capture our plum puree. The reason I'm passing through the sieve is to get it even more aerated and as light and as smooth as possible. So I'll just rub that through our sieve. Now this is what I was talking about earlier on with it being very luxurious. Lots of butter, good splash of milk. Out. Beautiful. So the double boiler will just keep it consistently warm. We don't want it to cool down. We'll just check that for seasoning. It's lovely. Now, another twist in this for the dish would be some chives. I couldn't get hold of any fresh chives, but these dry ones will just be sufficient for this dish. It's lovely. So we'll now just set that aside. Now I've got the black pudding, nice and soft, lovely consistency. I'm now going to pull the Guga. I'm going to start by just removing the skin. Reserve that for anyone who'd like to eat it. And just work round. So I'm just going to pull the meat into manageable bite-sized pieces. I'd use a fork, but it's just much easier this way. As much meat as we can. So that is our pulled Guga, which I'm now going to add to the black pudding. Give that a thorough mix. If it's not the kind of recipe that you can actually go wrong with. There we go. So for plating up our dish, nice and simple, we're going to take our plum puree and put a generous amount in the middle of the plate. We don't want to go too mad though, because remember it is luxurious and rich. I'll just spread that out nicely. So a little of this does go a long way. We'll now take our pulled Guga and the black pudding. I'm taking a wee dish here, which I've lined with cling film, and we're just going to fill this little dish. I'm going to press it down. You can see the 2 slices of black pudding per portion, more than generous. And I will just plate this up. Here we have it. Now, you can have it like that, but seeing there's so much richness in the potatoes, the black pudding and the Guga, I want to add a wee bit of acidity to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of Stramash Anytime relish. Which I will just place on the side there. There we have it. So here we have the finished dish of Ness black pudding with pulled Guga, plum puree and Stramash Anytime relish. Enjoy. So earlier I talked about comfort food. When I came up with this idea, in my mind I knew it was going to work because I'm not branching too far away from the original idea of the Guga with the potatoes. But to incorporate the Guga into the black pudding, I thought it'd be quite a nifty wee twist, and just having it just now, the Guga, the black pudding, the plum puree and the Stramash Anytime relish, it's just honestly comfort food at its best, and I didn't think I would ever say that about using Guga and black pudding in one dish. Enjoy.